Hello, fabulous superstar Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month features 24 days of giving. The first 24 days of December, we have prizes every single day. Make sure that you are on my newsletter. You're following me on social media. All those links are below and enter every day for prizes. On the 4th of the month, we will have this month's full moon. This full moon takes place in a financial part of your sky having to do with money you earn, money you spend. Self-love and self-esteem are covered by this part of the sky as well. Now, here's what's interesting about this full moon. It is across the sky from Mars and Venus both. And what that suggests is that there's tension. There's a sense of wanting more than one thing. Now, that could be quite literal in terms of what you're hoping to, for example, spend your money on. But it can also be much more deeply personal than that. It can relate more to a deeper understanding of what's worth doing for money, what's worth spending money on, what isn't. What it is that you understand the value of things, the possessions you have. What value do you give those possessions, and what stays and what goes? Now, for some, that tension just might be your own sense of where you want to create space versus what you want to hold on to. But for others, it might feel as if this tension is coming from outside of you, where it's as a result of your interaction with another, the needs of another, that you start considering, okay, what stays, what goes, what you're doing, what you don't want to be doing anymore, and so on. So for some, it's going to be just quite literal, just wanting to feel a sense of openness. For others, there's going to be a need to create space. But for others still, it might feel a lot more personal and consequential. Might feel as if you're making choices now as to what you're willing and what you're not willing to do to earn money or to spend money on. And the contemplation lends itself to certain choices, certain decisions that feel really significant and important to you. Regardless, though, one of the positive things about this is that it doesn't invite you to look at worth, healthy self-love, healthy self-esteem. And so for some Taurians, this might not show up financially at all, but have a lot more to do with still very significant matters where you connect more deeply to a healthy sense of self-value at this time. On the 10th of this month, Neptune will go direct. Now, whenever it is that Neptune changes directions, boy, is this ever energy we feel. Neptune itself represents what I like to call the big sleep, right? There's a grogginess where it comes to Neptune. But then you add the fact that Neptune is actually changing directions. It's like coming out of a slumber, but we're still groggy, but yet it feels deeply uncomfortable, like we wish we could keep sleeping. This, for some, might be physical, but I don't think that's likely for the Taurians. Much more likely is that this is a situation playing out more in terms of your friendships or your involvement in particular group endeavors, where it feels as if certain people make you feel tired, or perhaps there's been some disappointment or disillusionment. It's just that now you're ready to acknowledge it. Maybe you've bought into an illusion or a dream that they've been presenting to you. It's just that now you're finally ready to admit it. And once you do, it is consequential. But it's not just about this moment. I'm going to invite you to think back a little bit. If you go all the way back to last year, in May of 2024, that was when Neptune got to 29 degrees of Pisces. So if you imagine it, okay, the zodiac in the sky, it starts, the astrological new year starts in the sign of Aries, and each sign is divided into 30 degrees. So you get 360 degrees all the way around the zodiac. The 29th degree of Pisces is the very last degree of the zodiac wheel before we begin again. And this is the last time that Neptune is going to be at 29 of Pisces for about another century and a half to come. Once it is that Neptune moves on next month, will leave this friendship part of your sky, is not going to return for a long time to come. In about 150 years or so is the next visit that Neptune will have in this sign. But moving over this specific degree, yeah, it ends up being that much more important. And the fact that last year we had Neptune stand still and just hang out at 29 degrees, and now again we have Neptune standing still, changing directions at 29 degrees, I think is a remarkable symbol for how it is that whatever's happening now might in some way hearken to what was taking place for us all the way back to the middle of last year. About 5 months in, that's when, for 5 months, we had Neptune just hanging out at 29. But it's also a chance to more fully understand, more fully integrate what it is now that is desiring to be known by you. Those disappointments with certain group endeavors, where it worked, where it didn't, where certain people just really let you down, whether it's through their behavior, through their choices, through their decisions, where it was appropriate for you to feel that way and where it had nothing to do with you. Where it was that you gave a lot to the point where you ended up feeling drained or you felt tired. Well, now what is that going to mean for you? What is it now that you desire to give, that you have to give or not? It is going to be part of the consideration for you at this time. So for all of that, we have here energies that say important closures are taking place. You're admitting certain truths to yourself that you wish might be different. But ultimately, it's exactly what you need to understand what's reasonable to expect from another and what isn't, but also whom it is that other people are. And to find a depth of acceptance in that space so that you can decide who stays and who goes. Now, navigating forward, it is going to be smack dab in the middle of the month. The 16th of December is when we are going to have Mercury leave shadow. So if you think back, it was the 9th of November that Mercury went retrograde all the way to the 29th of November, then went direct. Now Mercury direct will, on the 16th of December, return to where Mercury was on the 9th of November. Whatever is happening now might in some way hearken to what was taking place in the first 2 weeks of November. That's a big chunk of time, I know, but there very likely would have been some contemplations, considerations, especially related to a different type of money, not the money you earn and spend like the full moon covers, but rather this is access to wealth, access to resources, loans, benefits you qualify for. That's the kind of money we're talking about here. But it's also spiritual, emotional wealth as well, the resourcefulness within you. This part of the sky also represents your understanding of what stays and what goes and what it is you're ready to change, what change you're ready to work towards now that you understand some essential truths about you. Mercury leaving shadow is going to represent a really big deal in and of itself. But what we also have is 3 days later, a new moon in this same part of the sky. And to me, that is phenomenal. That new moon happening on the 19th of the month is mighty close to Venus, your ruling planet, making it that much more a significant new beginning for you. New moons always bring with them new beginnings. And so, yes, Mercury leaves shadow. You are on brand new territory in regards to these matters, but you add a new moon into the mix, and it really is a seed moment. It really is new opportunities, new realizations, new beginnings that come hand in hand with a sense of some closure that might find you. I spoke earlier about anaretic degrees. Now, this new moon happens at an anaretic degree as well in its given sign, which is the very end of a given sign. And it is this new moon that is going to be speaking in tension with Neptune. And so whatever realizations you are having before that new moon arrives with Neptune going direct, it in some way helps you to go to a deeper understanding of self, a deeper truth of self. It is your disappointment in other people that actually just might be what you need to understand where it is you're ready to begin again, and what beginnings and closures go hand in hand, especially at this time. It's not just about what's happening in this area of life, but what is happening because your ruling planet is there is deeply meaningful to you. It is about being true to yourself, understanding what it is to be authentically you. It is about being honest with yourself, even if it's hard, realizing what you don't need to carry anymore, but also understanding that change is within your grasp, that you can be at the forefront of wherever it is that you desire transformation to be, that you can trust that impulse and you can go with it. And this can also be a time when you're having a deeper understanding of resources available to you, where you thought it would come from, the loan you thought it would be, the benefits you thought you would get. It might not be that, but there actually might be something even more meaningful available to you. And it might be a time when, yes, you're having to interact with financial institutions like banks, for example. And yet, whatever happens, even with its uncertainty, when we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. You're just navigating spiritual lessons along the way to aligning with it. Where it comes to matters of love, this part of the sky where we have the new moon, where we have Mercury leaving shadow, in addition to what I spoke of, also has to do with vulnerability and intimacy, really being known by another, wanting to be known by another, wanting to know another more deeply. Because this part of the sky has to do with authenticity, it really is about what stirs you, what you feel, being honest about what you feel. And if you don't feel it, it just isn't likely going to work for you, especially under this sky. Now, for those of you open to meeting someone new, one thing to be careful of here, I would say, especially with that square to Neptune, sometimes we feel spark with certain people, and it isn't really about them. It's about what we desire to feel. Or maybe it just is that something about them is familiar. Even if it isn't good for us, the fact that it's familiar means that we're more drawn to them. And that might be part of something you need to be a little bit wary of now. Because where the sparks might feel especially strong, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a direction where you're going to find a genuine sense of the type of connection that's going to move you towards something that is good for you. That's a different thing. Regardless of what happens, though, this sky does suggest that there's likely to be some meaningful moment that feels like it reaches very deep within you, and it gets you honest with yourself about what you're really going for in the context of love. For those of you just starting to date someone, big energies here in the context of dating. And this is an opportunity for you to get honest about what is really here, if it feels real to you or not. There is likely going to be, for some Taurians, an increase of intimacy that could happen, especially under the light of that new moon energy at play. But whether it is emotional, whether it is physical, or whether it is just, again, that honesty with you or someone that you trust and being able to be honest with them, it helps you to understand what you really feel. And it could end up being an all or nothing moment under that new moon energy. And for those of you in an established bond, so for the overwhelming majority, this energy might show up in terms of your partner's income. It might feel like there's a focus on that at this time. And at least right until the 24th of the month, you've got Venus moving through this part of the sky, which means there are blessings all around. And it might feel like it brings blessings into your life as well and benefits you in some way. But for all that, we have energies here that also suggest, outside of just the financial piece of it, whether it is change, whether it is a new beginning, whether it is financial with your partner, or whether it is in terms of the balance of give and take, money-wise, emotionally as well, there's going to be some need to address that. And some sense of maybe feeling like things are not as balanced. One person feels like they're giving a lot more. One person feels they're tired as a result of it. These are some possible scenarios that might transpire, but ultimately it does invite both of you to consider the value that the two of you bring to each other. There is going to be that very small percent. If you felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you, this is where you just might have that all or nothing moment as a result of some disappointment that helps you to understand what it is you might want to do next. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say for you, I love the energy of, well, I actually really like that full moon early in the month. And the reason I like that full moon is that it is in a part of the sky that, in addition to money matters, it has to do with healthy self-love and healthy self-esteem. This full moon is opposite your ruling planet Venus, along with being opposite Mars as well. And all of that suggests that this ends up being an important energy for you in how it is that it helps you to see things within you that you like, that you can value, that you can respect. And as a result, nurturing that, you're able to feel that much more connected to a genuine spirit of abundance as you uniquely define it. Well, thank you so much for watching. Once again, 24 Days of Giving is underway as soon as this month begins. Make sure you're on my newsletter, you're following me on social media and more. You get that many more entries. And of course, if you are one of the members over in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com, not only do you get bonus entries when you enter the draw every day, but you also get expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much again for watching, and have a wonderful end of the year. Have a wonderful 24 days of giving and so much more. I'm really excited about those 24 days because we're going to feature, of course, prizes, but then also every single day we're going to highlight one or two different charities. Many of them I support. We support together through this work, and others that other people who are participating in the giveaway, astrologers, people you've seen on my channel, and so much more. Well, they also are going to be sharing some of their favorite charities as well. So be on the lookout for all of that. Thank you so much once again, and it'll be a great month. Enjoy.